Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chad, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Gamesense MVP Wireless and also comparing it to the Microsoft WMO, which is like a super legendary mouse in the gaming scene. We're going to see how they stack up and if it's worth the upgrade. All right, let's check it out. Okay, so kicking things off with the price, the MVP Wireless is coming in at $99, and for that $99 you get the mouse itself, a very nice USB Type-C cable, and a dongle to connect the mouse to your computer. At the time of making this video, the mouse is only available in one color, and that is black. Obviously, this is a wireless mouse, and it's packing the 3370, which is a fantastic sensor, and it sits right smack in the middle of the mouse. The polling right here is 1000 Hertz, and it has a liftoff distance of 1 millimeter. The tracking feels flawless, and the mouse always keeps up, and I've had no spinouts or any problems whatsoever with the sensor. Battery life is pretty decent. It's rated for 64 hours, but that's only with the RGB turned off. The weight here is 75 grams, but it's also a really balanced weight. It doesn't feel clunky in my hand, and with the nice feet that it has and there's no cable, it kind of gives you like a really nice glide compared to the WMO, which weighs 80 grams. So the build quality on my copy is like absolutely fantastic. It feels very, very well built. Like all of my buttons are super impressive on my copy. The side buttons are crispy, tactile, responsive, and like everything you want in a side button. Buttons 1 and 2, like on my left button, it does have a tiny little bit of button wobble, but nothing noticeable in game or anything like that. And button 2 doesn't move at all. It's like totally planted, no button wobble whatsoever. Both of my buttons have a little bit of pre-travel and almost no post-travel at all. All around, clicks 1 and 2 feel really fantastic on my copy, and I'm really impressed with the click feel on this mouse. The scroll wheel is also amazing to use in game and out, whether I'm doing like video editing or just playing Apex and spamming enemies or whatever. It always feels really good. It's very nice, and it's got a nice texture to it, and it feels really good to scroll. It's pretty tactile but also smooth at the same time, and it's not too hard to press down. So if I'm like spamming someone in Apex, it feels very responsive and very good for that. All of the buttons here on this mouse, except for the DPI button, are using the Kale 4.0 switches, and they just feel so crispy and so good and consistent throughout the entire mouse. Like, they really did a great job with the buttons here. I just love the way it feels, and they sound awesome too. The feet here are 100% virgin PTFE, and they feel really smooth. I don't think you're gonna need to get aftermarket feet on these. I would say they're kind of like a medium fast speed, and they have a really nice glide. And you know, with that weight balance being so nice, and the wireless and then the good smooth feet, this mouse has a really great glide, and it just feels so nice when you're tracking in game and stuff. So yeah, the feet are great. I don't think you're gonna need to replace them anytime soon. So there's two things I don't like about this mouse, and one of them is the coating is kind of slippery, and it's a fingerprint magnet. Like, for some reason, it makes my hands feel sweaty compared to other mice that I have. And when that's not happening, the grip does feel good and premium. It's a premium feeling product, but you know, seeing the fingerprints on there and then kind of getting a slippery feel sometimes makes it feel a little less premium than it could. The other issue I have with my copy is the USB dongle is very rattly and kind of feels cheap and not really confidence inspiring. So I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem in the not so distant future or not, but I feel like if I had to unplug this and keep plugging it in, eventually it probably would cause issues, but so far it hasn't, but just something to keep in mind. So the shape here is obviously based off of the WMO, and while it's close, it's not an exact one-to-one. I would say it's slightly smaller than the WMO and a little bit more curvy, especially around the middle where you grip the mouse. And it kind of feels like it has a little bit more bulk towards the back middle of the mouse, kind of where your ring finger would rest on when you're using a claw grip. And I would say overall, the WMO is probably more hand feeling than this one is. You know, the WMO just has like this magic about it. When you use it for a claw grip, it just feels so locked in and so secure and like just deadly, right? And this one, you can get pretty dialed in with it, but it doesn't feel exactly like the WMO. It's not quite as like straight on the sides, and also it's not quite as grippy. So that could be part of what I'm feeling too, but it's not, overall, you know, it's not quite as hand feeling, it's not as grippy, and it's a little bit more curvy, almost like ergonomic feeling even though I don't know if that's what they're going for or not. Another thing that kind of bothers me with this mouse is on the bottom, the RGB kind of rubs my pinky if I'm using a claw grip, and like on the WMO, it's very flat there and you don't feel any resistance on your pinky or any sharp edges. And I do notice that with the Gamesense MVP, but not a huge issue, just something to point out. Also, on top of the Gamesense, it has a slightly steeper angle on the buttons in the front of the mouse than the WMO does. So that's, you know, it also kind of just makes it feel a little bit different right there. So like I said, it's not a one-to-one, but you know, in real life, in game, these things don't really matter that much. It's still a very usable mouse, and you can definitely get a very similar grip to the WMO. And you know, tracking and flicking and all that stuff feels great on this mouse. The feet are great, the performance is great, the buttons are all awesome. So like everything is there as a whole package as a mouse. Like it's a great mouse and it's a great product. So yeah, even with the slight changes in shape from the original WMO, I don't really know if it matters all that much because you can still get a lot of great grips on this mouse. It's a very premium feeling mouse, except for the slippery part that we talked about. You know, overall the shape is very good for claw grip and hybrid and even fingertip. You can even palm this mouse if you want to. Like, it's a very versatile mouse, very well built. You know, a lot of really nice features about this mouse, honestly. Everything is great except for the texture is kind of eh. I would like to see an updated texture on the next version of this mouse with something that's a little bit more grippy. And then I think it would be really a super killer mouse at that point. And you know, hopefully this video helps you guys out. If you're thinking about upgrading from like a WMO or just, you know, upgrading from something else, I can definitely recommend this mouse. I would say it's probably pretty underrated right now, and you're getting a lot of good value for $99. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, throw me a like, and I will see you guys in the next one.